how do you get all your FPV gear from point A to point B? Well, there's a lot of ways you could answer that question. But for a lot of people, the answer is a dedicated FPV-specific backpack. A bag that separates and protects and organizes all your FPV gear so that when you get where you're going, you don't have to like unpack. You just kind of set it down, fold it open, pick out what you need, and then when you're done, put it right back, zip it up, and you're on your way. That's a lot of stuff. Thing's heavy. If you are in the market for an FPV bag, good news, I've got a bunch of them. Oh my God, my laptop. I've got a bunch of them. And I'm going to give you an overview of the pros and cons of each of them. I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today. I've got individual reviews of each of these bags on my channel. This video is in a playlist. The playlist is linked in the video description below. And if you want to go in depth about what makes each of these bags special, go down and check out those individual videos. But the purpose of this video is that you might not want to watch 5 or 6 individual videos diving into each of the bags in depth. You might just want an overview of the pros and cons of each of the bags, and then maybe you'll pick 1 or 2 of the videos to get a closer look at the bags you're most interested in. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm just going to give you an overview, and I gotta say, I think I've got, well, not all, but most of the bags that are going to be in your consideration if you're shopping for a bag at the time that I'm releasing this video. The first one you've probably never heard of. This is the PGYTech drone backpack. And PGYTech makes camera bags, but they also have decided to get into drone bags and FPV bags. That is my current daily driver, and I'll tell you why. Behind me on the desk, we have got the Rotor Riot Backpack V2, which was my daily driver before this one. What can I say? I like to mix it up. We have got the RaceDayQuads backpack. That's the least expensive option, coming in at just around $100. We have got the Lumenier backpack. Lumenier, Get FPV, has released their own bag. And we have got the iFlight Backpack V2. iFlight has updated their bag. I do need to say that there are a couple bags that probably are like in your mind that are not here. Most notably, Torval makes a backpack. I've had a lot of daily drivers over the years. I don't change very often, but I've been doing this for a lot of years. So Torval is one that you might consider. It's a very good bag, but it's not in this listing for 2 reasons. Number one, they didn't send it to me, and I didn't feel fit to buy it because it's kind of on the way top end. It's like $300 almost. And so it's just so expensive. And for what it has to offer, to me, it just didn't seem like the right value proposition. But it's not here. And also, some of you may have seen my review of the HDLRC backpack. I'll put it in this playlist as well, but I didn't like it very much. I thought it wasn't very good. And especially at some of the prices I've seen it offered at, I don't think but you could check it out, but it's not going to be here in this roundup. Okay, so let's get into the pros and cons, high level, of each of these bags. And honestly, like, we're just going to start with my current daily driver, the PGYTech. This bag is just the right size for me. There's an axiom that says you need the smallest backpack that carries all the stuff you want to carry. I've had bigger bags. I've stuffed those bags so full of shit that when I put the bag on my back, I thought, this is uncomfortably heavy. And the structure of the bag, it was so heavy that the bag kind of struggled under the structure of it. This is just perfect. I get everything I need in this bag to go on a trip. I love the organization. It's a very well-made bag. There's something to be said for the fact that PGYTech, they make a lot of things, but they specialize in camera bags. So they're a bag manufacturer, as opposed to an FPV company that just found a factory somewhere in China to make a bag for them. Doesn't mean that's bad quality, but you get a little bit extra. I love the way it lays out my stuff, and I also love the fact that you can order spare parts. Like, what happens if you just want an extra divider? With these other bags, you simply don't have that as an option, but PGYTech sells spare parts for all their bags on their website. And so, like, here's some extra dividers in here. This is not how it came from the factory. You can watch my review of the PGYTech bag. Again, link down below if you want to hear more about that. PGYTech, not quite as big as the biggest of the bags I think that's a plus. You might think that's a negative if you carry a lot of big stuff like a big gimbal or a big Mavic drone. Enough room here to get a drone on the inside, especially if it's a smaller drone, but certainly probably not a 5-inch and not with props on, unless you do a lot of reshuffling of the inside and give up a lot of space. That is the PGYTech bag. I really like it. Next up, the Rotor Riot Bag V2. And I do need to say that this pouch right here does not come with it. I added that. It comes with MOLLE webbing on it, and I added this pouch. And one of the reasons I added that pouch, we'll just get right into it, is that the Rotor Riot Bag lacks a little bit of organization for like small, loose stuff. If we go back to the PGYTech bag, one of the reasons it took over as my daily driver compared to the Rotor Riot bag was all this external organization for small loose stuff. We've got little pockets here, we've got an SD card reader, all kinds of stuff. We've got pens because I got to sign autographs because I'm such a big star. We got organization through that bag, and like with a bag, sometimes I want big pockets that and compartments that I can put like my goggles in or my controller in, and sometimes I want a little bit more organization built into the bag. The Rotor Riot bag doesn't have a lot of organization built into the bag. We've got pockets like this, and of course on the inside we've got dividers, as you would expect. But there's not a lot of organization for little loose things, and that's why I put that pouch on the outside. You'll also see on the Rotor Riot bag, I reinforced the Velcro with this Velcro, this strip of Velcro that I just bought off the, you're supposed to sew it down to things, but that's not the way I used it. And I reinforced all of the joints because the joints were, this one's not reinforced, isn't that interesting? The joints were just pulling off as I handled the bag, as I pull on the bag. That worked really great. I expect you would have to do that for all of the other bags because they're all kind of the same in terms of their Velcro. That's not a downside of this bag, although my PGYTech bag has been holding up really well. Well, I don't know if it would on a long enough timeline. The Rotor Riot bag, a lot of space on the inside. Somehow there's more space here than it really seems like there should be from the exterior size of the bag. I've gotten so much crap in here. Again, looking at the, I don't know what that was. Again, looking here, we've got big pockets, but not a lot of like micro organization. Does come with, I believe it still comes with a battery case, a fireproof battery case. Maybe they started selling it separately, I'm not sure. And one thing that makes the Rotor Riot bag distinct is that it has this container on the top, or a compartment on the top, for your controller is the intended thing. Depending on the controller you use, if it's a smaller controller, you might get a controller and a goggles in here, and that just frees up more space on the inside for you to put other stuff in. The Rotor Riot bag also advertises these, what they call rip and dip pockets, which let you reach in and get goggles, battery, controller out without opening up the whole bag. That's cool, and I think that there probably are people who love and use that, like Sean, the designer of the Let's Fly RC, the designer of the bag, but personally, I just put my bag down and open it up. The RaceDayQuads bag is the least expensive of any of the bags up here by like a factor of a half. It comes in around $100. The other bags typically come in closer to $200. There's a little bit like $180 to $220 range. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but this guy comes in around $100, and that means that it's going to be the most accessible for people on a budget. But I'm not sure that you wouldn't, if you bought this, you'd probably make good use of it. I'm not sure you wouldn't get a better backpack for your money just by buying a $100 backpack from like a camping store or like a, tactical backpack, whatever military style backpack is really popular. You can get like a name brand backpack for $100, and that's like at the high end of a typical backpack, but that's sort of the low middle end of like a specialized FPV backpack. The outside organization is acceptable. It's not very big. It's smaller than the others. It doesn't have a lot of pockets on the outside, and when you get to the inside, it doesn't come. Where's the zipper? I'm going to find the zipper. That's not the right zipper. There we go. When you get to the inside, it doesn't come with enough dividers to really fill out the inside. And that's kind of the whole reason you're buying like an FPV backpack, is you want these dividers to organize the space, separate your stuff, and protect your stuff. The problem with the number of dividers it comes with doesn't give you the ability to fully build out this space. And so pretty much no matter how you lay these out, and I've tried a lot of different ways, you're going to end up with a big open space with some stuff rattling around in it. And well, it's kind of like, well, if I wanted a big open space with stuff rattling around in it, I'd just spend $100 on a regular backpack. I don't think it's a bad buy necessarily, but I think it would be more compelling if they included more dividers to let you organize this space a little bit more. You can see more about the more details about that and the things I actually like more. There are a lot of things I like about this, but I feel like it's really let down by the number of dividers they give you for the internal space, which is kind of the whole point of buying an FPV-centric backpack. You can hear more about the things I like in the full review video linked down below. The Lumenier bag is probably my second or third favorite. My favorite being the PGYTech, the second favorite being the Rotor Riot bag, which was my daily driver for a long time. The Lumenier bag's got a lot of potential. It is, first of all, it's massive. If you're looking for a bag that carries a lot of stuff, this is it. Look at the size of the front you got here. There's so much space to put drones on. We've got, no, this does not go to the inside. This is a separate pocket, so there's a little bit of organization on the outside, and if we go into the sides, they've got a little bit of organization, but not a ton, like just one zipper here. There's just a couple zippers on the other side, but it's something. Like I do have these pouches on the side, or pockets on the side, that are easy to access, and like I can get at some small things without having to open up the whole bag. So, that's like, a 6 out of 10, but it's not like a 0 out of 10. And then if we go into the bag, oh, right, it's one of the only bags. Yes, there we go. It's got, there's the laptop. It's one of the only bags that is front opening. So a lot of the other bags open from the rear, and you lay them down on their face. The problem with that is if you've got a bunch of drones on the bag and you lay it down on its face, it lays on the drones. You don't have access to them. This bag is front opening, so you lay it down on its back, and it opens like this, and then your drones just fold over and fold out of the way. Very nice. There's so much space in here and plenty of organization. You might wish that you could shrink this a little bit, like that maybe this was a little narrower so you could get these a little closer together, but I'm really nitpicking there. I guarantee, and it comes with tons of dividers. In addition, the dividers are like rigid plastic on the inside. They're not just flexible, so they're going to have a lot more structure. These shelves right here often sag on cheaper bags. That shelf isn't going anywhere. The Velcro feels pretty tough, although it probably will wear out and need to be reinforced over time. I just think that your organization on this bag is going to be great. We have 3 dividers. There's various ways you could do it. You could do one divider vertical with there's lots of different ways you could do this. You're going to be able to organize everything you want. And there's this top shelf here for like a larger controller or maybe a drone. If it was not too big, where's my 5-inch? Where's my little 5-inch drone that I've been using? Oh yeah, here's a 5-inch racing drone, and with props on, no, but with props off, you get 2 or 3 drones in there, no problem. Like no problem that would fit with props off, easy peasy. So just you can fit everything you need. You can organize everything you need. I love it. Things I don't like about this bag: it has a waist strap. It is a padded waist strap, so that's good, but I don't want a waist strap almost all the time, so it's just going to be in the way, and it is not removable. This looks very, very similar to the Torval bag, I believe, that I had, and I cut the waist strap. I just carefully went in there and cut the stitching and removed the waist strap because I didn't want it. There's really not an effective way to, like, you could take this webbing off, and then you just have these little things flapping around, and I still don't like it very much, but, it's probably not a deal breaker for most people. I'm just a whiny little bee. Lastly, we have the iFlight bag V2, and from the outside, I was so prepared for this bag to be my favorite. I just love the aesthetics. Like, it looks good. We got lots of options here for strapping things to the outside. We got lots of pockets accessible from the outside, lots of zippers, yes, we get into the top of the bag from here, like so. We can reach in. Like, there's so much going for this bag. And yet, when I got to the inside, to me, there was a deal breaker. And don't just take my word for it. Go watch the full review video if you want to. But it was a deal breaker, which was the way that they've organized it. So they took all, the top half is one of these arrangements where you've got this shelf here and there's stuff on top of the shelf and stuff underneath the shelf. That's not the deal breaker. Like, I don't personally like that, but if you do like that, this and the PGYTech bag are the only ones that offer that. So that's cool. There are people who, the original low pro bag that was the first FPV drone backpack I think ever in existence had this layout, and some people really like it. You put like your drone under there, your controller under there, your drone over here. If you want that, this has it. That's fine, but then you have this section down here, which is where you're going to play with all your dividers, but they took all the dividers and they put them in this kind of like bathtub structure. I don't see the frickin' point. I just don't see the point. It just, like, why would you want to take this out? The whole point is that these dividers are in here and, like, you are going to, like, carry your stuff. Like, could you lift it out and take all your stuff with you? I guess, but I could also just take my whole backpack with me. To me, it just seems like this is a solution in search of a problem. It takes up extra space. Do you see we're kind of wasting space inside this bag? With, like, there's space, like, I could be using that space, right? It doesn't add much structure. It just seems pointless and weird, and I have no idea why they did it. And you might think, well, just take it out and just use the dividers as is, but there's not a lot of shelves. We need more of these shelves. And yeah, it just is such a weird decision. I kind of can't make sense of it, and to me, it kind of spoils the bag for me, but maybe not for you. Shelves. Why don't I just get more shelves? Yeah. The only one of these bags you can actually buy spare parts for is the PGYTech, as far as I know. Somebody messaged me and they said, oh, I lost the Rainfly. My Rainfly got holes in it. I need a replacement Rainfly. Sorry, out of luck on most of these. But PGYTech, again, because they are a backpack manufacturer and not just an FPV company dabbling in backpacks, they have full sets of spares, and I also kind of like that. I think that deserves recognition. So for me, the iFlight bag, the way they've organized the inside is a deal breaker, but the outside is really cool, and well, maybe you feel differently. Oh. Okay, that is going to do it for this big roundup overview of all these backpacks. But check out the playlist in the video description as well. I'll put a card on screen for more backpack reviews, including detailed reviews of all the bags you saw here today. I'm also going to put the HDLRC backpack on there because that's still for sale. And I'm going to put my review of the Torvol bag, although you need to realize that review is some years out of date. The new Torvol backpack is very, very similar, but not identical to the one I review, but it will give you some perspective on what Torvol is up to. I'll see you there. Oh, and one more thing. If you do decide to purchase one of these backpacks, please use the affiliate links in the video description below. When you click that link and then make a purchase, I get a commission. I don't care which backpack you buy. I have no dog in this fight. That's probably a bad idiom to use. I have no horse in this race. Is horse racing okay? Dog fighting's bad, but is horse racing acceptable? I have no rooster in this cockfight. I have no... Let's stop. I don't care which bag you buy, but if you decide to buy one, then use the affiliate link. I get a little commission. It sure does mean a lot, especially on a higher ticket item like this. The commission can be, well, it's still not much, but it's a little bit more. Thank you so much.